need elaborate visualization, elaborate. Very sophisticated levels of visualization to a point where it manifests. To make mental process just like a physical process is what Tantra is trying to do. To make imagination so strong that after some time it is like physical. You actually create a ghost or you create a god, both are possible. Both are possible, any kind of form you want, you can actually create it, manifest it and make it walk. You know, like I was probably at that time, first standard, means I'm 5, 6, 6, 7 I think, second, third standard I must have been. And I have a cousin brother who's a no good fellow. So at that time, in my mind, like if I'm sitting like this, I can be engaged in my mind for hours on end without any communication with anybody because I'm setting up all kinds of things. So I loved Mysore Zoo so much, I want to have my own zoo. So I designed my own zoo. I didn't call it a zoo, it was a world by itself, where animals were not locked as I wanted them, they were all over the place. Lots of animals and of course I had a rhinoceros and everything. So this fellow, one day he was with me and I told him, you want to see my pet animals? He said, yeah. So I just kind of took him in. I just started talking to him and I sat with him and I told him, see, this is it, can you see this, can you see this, can you see this one? Every day he wants to go. Couple of times I allowed because he had something that I wanted. After that he has nothing but he wants to go every day. And every day I have to sit with him and take him in. He got addicted to it.
Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I am your host, Dan F. Man. I'm gonna go over to my chilling scene. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's good? We back with another week here. It look kind of dark in here, don't it? But anyway, we back for another week. Expansion Pack, as usual. Let me turn on my scene over here. Y'all ain't gonna see me do it, but I'm gonna do it. So today, we just gonna go back to planning. We're going back to planning. We're gonna look into some plans that were created, some plans that are happening now, and talk about some plans for maybe Expansion Pack or DGTA for the future. Maybe not, but planning is the topic for today. So let me turn on the screen over here for you. Alright. Go back to the chilling scene and we good. Alright, y'all. Let me get some background music for a second. Hey. Yeah, that should be playing. Alright. Let me head over to YouTube. My mouse going dead, so I gotta get another battery out the drawer. So we got a 20-year plan. It's a good 20-year plan. Hey, my man's back.
I'm so excited about this. I matched at Advent Health, the emergency medicine program there. Advent Health was my first choice.
When your hotel room is your bedroom, and your living room, and your dining room.
Good morning, John, and good morning to the class of 2017, and also all of the other classes, and people who aren't in classes. Here's what I think is probably up with most of you. It's what was up with me. You have done the thing other people have told you to do for your entire life, and now you don't know what to do, because guess what? Freedom is awful, and I can't decide what to have for dinner, much less what to do with the rest of my life. You have an infinite number of paths ahead of you. Pick! Join the army, or the Peace Corps, or the clergy. Go to grad school, or business school, or horoscope school. Where do astrologers go to school? Build your side hustles, and start a podcast, and follow your dreams until you realize that your dreams aren't actually that great, because work has much more to do with the people you do it with and your own attitude than whatever it is you're actually doing. I loved science, and I got a job doing science after I graduated, and it was miserable. Not because I didn't like the science, it's because I was the only person in the lab. All the time, just me and my pipettes and a family of armadillos and a giant canister of liquid nitrogen. And yes, that sounds kind of awesome, but after 6 months, it gets a little lonely. If you are very lucky, you have discovered something you like doing. It is very easy to get through life without discovering a saleable skill that you enjoy. And that is, by the way, how dream jobs actually happen. You find a thing that you like doing, at least most of the time, and you do it enough that you get good enough at it that people will pay you to do it. So if you like doing a thing that has economic value, continue doing that thing. You are one of the lucky ones. If you don't, welcome to being most people. To you, I offer only this. You are normal. We evolved for a world so unlike the one that we find ourselves in that it is amazing any of us can function at all. Humans are, above everything, adaptable. But the idea that any of this stuff, careers and job interviews and diplomas and the jobs themselves, is like a normal human construction that you're designed to do, it's crazy. It's all brand new, super weird cultural constructions that didn't exist like 300 years ago. This stuff all seems very normal. It's not. And if you base your self-worth on it, which we do, we are asked to. It's what society says our value is, but if you do, it's gonna be real hard to be happy. You don't need a job that changes the world and that's environmentally friendly and that is creatively fulfilling in every way and that uses any diploma, much less the diploma that you happen to have. You need to feel valuable. But all of the different constraints that is being placed on like what a valuable life looks like, it's nuts. It's way too much to expect from anyone, much less everyone. It takes so long to get it into your head. You didn't go to school to learn how to get a job. You went to school to learn, and you did it. You know more stuff now. So, you might never know what you're doing. But do me this favor. Get out of bed every morning knowing that no one changes the world alone and no one doesn't change it at all. We are all exceptional, and none of us are. And we are all lost sometimes. So follow a path, any path, until you get to a place that you feel like you don't like, and then change your direction. Because there's one thing that you are making every day, no matter what you're doing, and that is yourself. That is your job, and you must do it well. For me, there's a lot of strength in knowing that the wandering that I am doing, that I've done, is normal and kind of beautiful, and not something I should be stressed out about. You're on a path. You don't know where it's going, and that would be boring if you did. John, I'll see you on Tuesday. Here is the current list of people.
That's my guy. We gonna watch my man's talk real quick.
With Fidelity Active ETFs, the potential is in the name. Active. Active pursuit.
Hey guys, in this video, we'll be covering what major money milestones you should aim to accomplish in your 20s. The idea for this video came after a friend of mine, Kayla, who is 25 years old, wanted to know what else she needed to get done in her 20s to achieve financial freedom. So I am 34 right now, and I learned a great deal about personal finance, budgeting, and investing in my 20s. In fact, I was even a financial advisor for Bank of America Merrill Lynch when I was 25, and I attribute a lot of my investment knowledge to that experience. Now, when you're starting off at the age of 20, I feel like the college college and education system here just don't really teach you that much when it comes to managing the adult world of finance. So this video is meant to be a one-stop shop for all of your financial needs to get a solid financial foundation going. I hope that you share this video with a friend who might need it, and then it becomes a resource for you in the future that you can reference at any point in time. So with that being said, make sure to hit the like button on this video and let's get started. This video first covers what it takes to build a financial foundation in chronological order, and that means we need to start with the first financial milestone, which is to pay off debt or stay out of student debt. So chances are, if you graduate college, you're likely going to have some student loans, and you might even have some credit card debt. The average student loan debt in America is $39,000, and oftentimes, if you're going to a 4-year institution or even a 2-year institution after transferring from community college, you'll likely take on some student loan debt. One of your first major milestones in your 20s is to figure out a plan to pay off this debt. Usually federal student loan interest rates are between 4 and 6%, and you're gonna have many of your friends probably tell you that you can get an average of 8% on your money by being invested in the market. So they're gonna say things like, why are you paying off your debt when you can just invest it and get a higher return? While you can earn 8% in the market, many people often forget that you can also lose that money as well if the market doesn't do as hot. When it comes to paying off student loan debt, try to prioritize it over investing, because at least you know it's going to give you a guaranteed 4 to 6% return on your money. And the sooner you get rid of student loan debt, the quicker that weight is going to be lifted off of your shoulders and you can afford to take on more risk in life. The point of paying off debt is more so that you can afford to take these risks in your 20s uninhibited. When you're debt free, you might take a chance on a startup or a risky business venture that could net you maybe a 50x return in the future. But when you're burdened with debt, you're basically a slave to that debt, and you have to continually service it, which means that you might have to compromise your best learning years by being forced to take a job you might not enjoy. If you're at the point in your life where you still haven't entered college yet, you may want to reconsider if a 4-year institution is actually worth it for you, because taking on massive student debt in the long run is going to be hard. Also, you can just go to a community college for 2 years and then transfer into that same 4-year institution your junior year. By the time you graduate, it's all the same anyway. No one will really care that you went to a community college your first 2 years. They're just going to see where your diploma came from, and if it's the same as all your peers, then there you go. All right, the next milestone you should be hitting, which should help with the first milestone of paying off debt, is to get a job where you can earn income and get experience. In your 20s, you want to try out as many jobs as possible and earn income at the same time. One of the things that you should strive for before the age of 30 is that you've hopefully found a career that you love and that you can work in for a while, because the highest earning potential usually comes from being in the same industry for a long time. Think of it this way: would you rather hire a plumber that has 1 day of job experience, or someone who's seen 20,000 clogged toilets in their life over the span of 30 years? You'll probably want that second plumber because he knows exactly how to fix your pipes in a fraction of the time. The people that can demand the most amount of money in the market typically have been in their jobs for a long time. So in our 20s, we want to figure out what that is, or at least hone in on exactly what that's going to be. Now, if you don't find your job for life in your 20s, that's no sweat either. This milestone is more about getting experience working. Having experience is one of the most valuable things you can learn, because it'll also teach you of how important it is and how hard it is to make money. So I used to think in high school that $100,000 a year was going to be so easy to make, until I actually started in the workforce and realized, like, man, this job is going to take me at least 5 years of working really hard. Right now I'm being paid $40K, and it'll be a long time before I hit $100,000 a year. That was really eye-opening for me, and it really taught me the value of money and how hard it was to make. Assuming you get a job, the next major milestone in your 20s to hit is a triple threat, and they all go together. So I'm basically going to call this milestone the trifecta milestone, and it consists of the following. Number 1, delayed gratification. Number 2, staying out of credit card debt. And number 3, building together. So I'm basically going to call this milestone the trifecta milestone, and it consists of the following. Number 1, delayed gratification. Number 2, staying out of credit card debt. And number 3, building your credit wisely. So let's break this down. Typically in your 20s is when you'll get your first credit card. Now, credit cards are not evil per se, but they can really help you build your wealth in the 20s, especially if you use them correctly. That means you want to pay off your credit card in full so that you don't fall into the recurring cycle of owing money on your credit card. Credit card interest rates are on average around 18%, so these can really kill your financial foundations if you aren't responsible with your spending with credit cards. If you you are able to stay responsible with your card, you're going to be able to build some solid credit. The biggest benefit of having a great credit score is getting a lower interest rate on loans and financing for homes and cars. Having a good credit score can also help you get approved for rentals faster. Now, a lower interest rate, I know it sounds like a boring benefit, but on a mortgage, for example, the difference in just a 0.5% interest rate is absolutely crazy. On a loan amount of $400,000 with a good credit rating, you might qualify for a loan rate of 5%, which amounts to $373,000 in change in interest over 30 years. Now, pretend you have a slightly worse credit score, and that means you qualify for a 5.5% interest rate. Over the course of 30 years, that same loan is going to cost you about $417,000 in interest. That actually amounts to a difference of $44,000 over the course of the loan. That's crazy because getting a good credit score is not that hard as long as you pay off your bill on time and you stay out of too much debt. Now, here's the thing though about that, you can never miss a payment. So to illustrate how important this is, if you make 99% of your payments on time, you basically get a B. So literally with a credit score, you cannot afford to miss.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
When looking for the perfect card to reward your appetite for life, look no further than
to miss any payments at all, and that's why you should always have on auto pay when you can. And the last part of this trifecta milestone is simply delayed gratification. If you can delay your impulse purchases in your 20s, you're going to have an easier time compounding your wealth for the future, and that's simply due to the fact that $1 today is going to be worth more than $1 in the future. The more capital that you can accumulate when you're young, that means the bigger the base is going to be that you're going to have when it comes to investing and compounding your wealth. So let's pretend we have a person, A and B. They both don't invest from the ages of 20 to 30, but at least they save money. Person A saves up $500 a month, so by the time that they're 30, they have $60,000 ready to invest. Person B, on the other hand, they save up $750 a month, so they have $90,000 by the time that they're 30 ready to invest. Now pretend at the age of 30, they both start to invest in the market and they get 8% until they retire, and they both do the same thing. By the time they're 65, person A is going to have an $887,000 ending balance, while person B is going to have over $1.33 million. That's a difference of $443,000.
Y'all remember this is a perfect world that he talking about. Yeah, I'm trying. Ain't nobody saving that.
Just because person B was able to save a couple $100s more per month than person A from the ages of 20 to 30. So the next time you're looking at buying those Gucci slides, think twice, because by delaying that purchase, you might be able to afford something way nicer later on in life, like a pair of Crocs. That was a joke. Hopefully you got it. The next big milestone in your 20s you should accomplish is having a savings goal, either for a house, a wedding, a dream vacation, or taking a risk like starting a new business. Having a savings goal, I think, forces you to create a budget, and that way you can work backwards from the goal itself. A big part of your 20s is navigating the fact that you'll be making an income, and your goal is to not spend all of it. In fact, if you can live below your means, it's almost always a good idea, because it kind of goes back to this idea of delayed gratification. By living below your means, and as you start to earn more income, you're going to be able to save for big goals like that down payment on a home, a wedding that you've always wanted, or an engagement ring. I know for me personally, I've been spending roughly the same amount of money every single month since the year 2014, because I track it in my expense tracker app. Starting out, I was spending about $1,500 a month on all my discretionary expenses, and I wasn't really making that much money at the time, about $45,000 to $50,000 a year. So basically, my income relative to my expenses was not that great. In fact, I was barely saving any money after taxes. But as my income personally grew, my expenses have always stayed roughly the same, and I've been living like I make $50,000 a year this entire time. Now, as a result of that, I now have a lot of money saved up, and I'm thinking about either putting a down payment on a house or a rental property in the Bay Area, which, let me tell you guys, is not cheap. Heck, I can even afford a lovely engagement ring without even having to worry about it damaging my finances. So, if you happen to be Taylor Swift watching this video,
oh hey,
or maybe another single lady, make sure you DM me. All right, all jokes aside, I was able to achieve this because I just really haven't changed my lifestyle that much. The thing with increasing your lifestyle and buying new clothes or new shoes is that they'll make you happy for like a temporary amount.
I want you to know, when you got a little bit of money, like, and you doing all of the things that he talking about, you talk different. You move different. That's how he can make this video, in case you wonder.
but after that initial honeymoon period ends, your happiness level is right back where it started. So in your 20s, you really want to focus on the things that make you happy that aren't tied to spending more money, and that's going to go a long way in your life. Okay, but now you're probably wondering, what's the right amount to save? The next major milestone you should hit is building a budget. Now, many financial experts recommend the 50-30-20 rule, which helps you distribute your income. We'll get right into that, but first, I want you guys to do the following, and it's going to take you about an hour or two, but it's going to be well worth it. Basically, you're going to go into your bank statements and your credit card statements and just comb through them. Categorize each expense into a need versus a want. If it's an expense like rent, utilities, car insurance, health insurance, that would be a need. If you have discretionary spending like Jamba Juice, Waffle House, or Netflix, that would go into the want category. The 50-30-20 rule states that your income should be divided 50% into needs, 30% into wants, and 20% into savings. So that means if you're making about $5,000 a month, $2,500 would go towards your needs like rent and utilities, $1,500 would go into discretionary, and $1,000 should go towards saving for future investments. And speaking of investments, this next part of the video is the fun part. Assuming that most of you guys have most of your debt out of the way, a working budget, an income, and at least an emergency fund, this is where you want to start investing for the future, and you can do so starting in retirement accounts. In America, there are two types of retirement accounts that most people will want to open. The first is the Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account, and the second is a 401k, which is an employer-sponsored account. Now, both of these accounts have a Roth and a traditional version. The main advantage of having a Roth IRA is that your earnings and profits are growing tax-free. That means when you retire and you withdraw all the earnings on this account, you won't pay any taxes on it at all. That's what the Roth portion of the IRA denotes. It's tax-free when you retire, but when you put in money, it's actually taxed. Now, this benefit is so good that the government limits how much you can contribute to it. If you're under the age of 50, you can only contribute $6,000 a year into a Roth IRA. And if you're over the age of 50, you can contribute $7,000 a year, an extra $1,000 as a catch-up mechanism. The other notable thing is that you need to contribute to the Roth IRA, like I said, with after-tax dollars. So in a traditional IRA, money going in is going to be pre-tax, but coming out, you will be taxed on it. In a Roth IRA, it's the exact opposite. Money going in is going to be taxed already, so when you withdraw it, they're not taxed at all. Now, in order to contribute to a Roth IRA, you need to have what's called earned income, which means that you need to get your income working for someone else, yourself, or from a business that you own. You can open up a Roth IRA at any brokerage like Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, Wealthfront, Acorns, and all of these brokerages should make it really easy for you guys to sign up for one. Once you sign up for one, though, you want to transfer money from your normal bank account to your Roth account, and then the final step is to actually purchase some investments in the account. We're going to talk about what to invest in shortly, but first let me cover the 401.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got shape video masks. You can use different shapes to create completely different vibes and aesthetics. Or you can create your own graphic. I use the shape composition here. Just import any SVG file and set it
401k really quickly. So the 401k, traditional or Roth, is an employer sponsor account. That means you can only start it if you work for an employer that offers it as one of their employee benefits. Now, many corporations will offer this type of retirement account, and it's pretty common across most companies. You can contribute a portion of your paycheck into the 401k, and this account has a much higher contribution limit of $20,500 per year in the year 2022. Anything you contribute to this account in the traditional 401k is pre-tax dollars, which means that you get taxed later on, but basically you defer your taxes till later. For many people, their income and therefore their tax rate is going to be lower at retirement, so they're paying a smaller amount of tax on the money in the future, and that's
you're getting into too much technical for me, and I'm tired of seeing your face. Sorry, y'all, if y'all was enjoying that in your 20s. So I invested $20 per day for a year, and this happened. Let's see what's up.
1 year ago, I decided to invest into the stock market every single day. Now, there are a lot of investors out there that invested $5 every single day because that is the simple thing to do. All you have to do is cut out something in your life like a Starbucks coffee, a Red Bull, or avocado toast. You take those $5 out of those drinks and invest that inside the stock market. There you go, $5 every single day. Now, what I decided to do was get me a side hustle to earn me an extra $1,000 per month from my side hustle. Now, that gave me the opportunity to invest $20 every single day inside of the stock market over an entire year. So I used the recurring investment to allow me to invest $20 every single day inside of the stock market. If you guys want to learn how I earned the extra $1,000 from my side hustles, you could check out
Let's see something. That's an interesting word. Let's see the best side hustles.
What if I told you that your unused parking spot could be your ticket to financial freedom? Or that your voice could be the next big thing in the digital world? Well, stick around because I'm about to blow your mind with 5 side hustle ideas that no one is talking about in 2024. Now, these aren't your average start a blog or become a virtual assistant gigs. We're diving deep into the weird and wonderful world of unique side hustles that can pad your wallet without eating up all of your time. And trust me, number 4 is so bizarre it made my accountant question my sanity. But the profits, they're very, very real. So if you're intrigued by these unconventional money-making methods, then don't let this golden opportunity slip away. Hit that like button faster than you can say financial freedom. Now, before we dive in, let's talk about why side hustles are hotter than a fresh TikTok dance in 2024. With the rise of remote work, the gig economy has absolutely exploded. But here's the kicker. Everyone and their grandma is trying to be a social media influencer or start a dropshipping business. And that's why we're going to be looking at the road less traveled. These side hustles are like the secret menu at In-N-Out. Not everyone knows about them, but they're absolutely delicious. So, are you ready to see how the other half hustles? Well, let's dive in. All right, so let's kick things off with something you might be sitting on right now, literally. It's time to turn your parking space into a money-making machine. So do you have a driveway in a busy area? Here's how it works. You list your space, set your price, and boom, people park, you profit. It's like Airbnb, but for parking cars. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just for big cities anymore. Even suburban areas near train stations or popular venues can cash in. And you can check out how others are earning from this side gig. Justin Camera, for instance, a former Amazon employee, quit his job and now earns $1,200 per month by renting out 5 parking spaces in his backyard through the Neighbor app. And he spends about 30 minutes per month managing this simple yet profitable side hustle. Gary Jones, who lives in a central Brighton flat, rents out his unused designated parking space for £21 per day through the platform Your Parking Space, which earned him about £6,462 in 2023. And despite not driving himself, this 52-year-old director at a language school started this low-maintenance side hustle in 2021 by renting space to builders. He also rented space to tourists and concert goers, and now it basically manages itself with minimal effort on his part. So think about it. That's a boatload of cash doing absolutely nothing. And you can also explore these parking rental apps to check it out for yourself. So next time you leave for work, take a good look at the empty driveway. It's not just a slab of concrete, it's your ticket to Easy Street. Now, before you rush off to list your driveway, let's talk about some fail-safe tips to keep your parking empire from crumbling. First, check your local regulations. Some areas have restrictions on renting out private parking spaces, and nothing kills a side hustle faster than a hefty fine. Second, consider insurance. Your regular homeowner's policy might not cover commercial use for your property. Also, look into short-term rental insurance to protect yourself. Lastly, set clear rules and expectations. Will you allow overnight parking? What about commercial vehicles? Clarity upfront prevents headaches down the road. Keep these tips in mind and you'll be paving your way to parking profits in no time. Now let's talk about turning your dulcet tones into cold hard cash. That's right, we're diving into the world of voice.
Make 2025 the year you make your brand happen. Make
voice acting. Now, with the explosion of podcasts, audiobooks, and online videos, there's a voracious appetite for voice talent. And this is something that AI so far has not been able to nail. And the best part, you don't need to sound like Morgan Freeman to get started. Platforms like Voices.com and Fiverr are democratizing the voice acting world. And you could be voicing anything from e-learning modules to video game characters. But here's the secret sauce: niches. Maybe you can nail a regional accent, or perhaps you've got a voice that's perfect for explaining complex topics. So find your niche and you'll be able to find your paycheck. See how this side gig is transforming lives and bank accounts worldwide. This voiceover actor suggested creating your own projects and reels, sharing them on platforms like Backstage, SoundCloud, Fiverr, and YouTube. And with enough exposure and interest, studios may reach out for paid opportunities and an agent can further assist in securing work. Now, according to this person, landing high-paying voice acting gigs like a $1,200 national radio ad is possible but highly competitive. And it often requires hundreds of auditions to secure a single job. So you probably don't want to find work that way. And the best part with this is you can find work anywhere around the world. Plus, it's a dream job for introverts everywhere. But before you start practicing your movie trailer voice, let's talk about some fail-safe tips to keep your voice acting career from going silent. First, invest in a good microphone. Your built-in laptop mic won't cut it. You don't need to break the bank, but a decent USB mic can make a world of difference. Second, learn to edit your own audio. Clients love voice actors who can deliver clean, ready-to-use files. Plus, it'll save you money on outsourcing. Lastly, don't underprice yourself. It's tempting to go low when you're starting out, but it can be hard to raise your rates later. Research industry standards and prices accordingly. And you can check out these websites to start earning from voice acting. Now, before we move on to the next exciting side hustle, I want to share and check out these websites to start earning.
Punkhead. Hold on. Yep, correct websites. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, before we move on to the next exciting side hustle, I want to share an incredible opportunity for you. If you're looking to level up your career and potentially make even more than these side hustles, check out Troy's free tech sales training down below. This course can open doors to high-paying tech sales jobs, just like it did for Wakago. Despite being a busy mom with a full-time job, she landed a $65,000 tech sales position just 1 month after completing the course.
Yeah, course careers advertise a 60K, like your average minimum, and I got a little more than that as my total compensation.
And if you're ready to transition into a new career and boost your income, this might be the perfect opportunity for you. All right, so we're halfway through our journey into the weird and wonderful world of unique side hustles. And stick around because our next 3 side hustles are so out there, you'll think I've lost my mind. So let's keep this money train rolling. So you're on vacation capturing some stunning footage of the sunset. What if I told you that that very clip could pay you for your next getaway? Welcome to the world of stock footage. Sites like Shutterstock and Adobe Stock are always hungry for fresh, unique visuals. And guess what? Your smartphone camera is probably good enough to get started. Now the key here is volume and niches. Sure, everyone's got footage of the Eiffel Tower, but do they have footage of a local festival in your hometown or your cat doing something adorably weird? Now here's a pro tip. Look for what's trending in the world and in your local area. Plus, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Upload once, sell multiple times. So basically you just have to do the work once, and if it's a picture or a video that catches on, you're going to be making money for years and years down the line. Now here are a couple of inspiring and innovative ways people are monetizing this side hustle. For instance, this content creator's experience reveals that selling drone footage clips can generate modest income, but significant earnings require a large portfolio and considerable time investment for editing and uploading. According to this Redditor, selling drone footage on stock platforms can yield modest passive income, with one creator earning $250 from 100 to 150 clips over a year. That's about $1 or $2 per clip per year. Not bad. Now, while it can be an enjoyable hobby, turning it into a significant income source requires intensive work and strategic focus on popular niches, as evidenced by the full-time stock videographer's experience. So next time you're out and about, don't just capture memories, capture dollar signs. But before you start filming everything in sight, let's talk about some fail-safe tips to keep your stock footage business from going out of focus. First, always get property releases. If you're filming on private property, including recognizable buildings, you need permission. Nothing tanks sales faster than legal issues. Second, learn about model releases. If there are identifiable people in your footage, even in the background, you need their permission to sell the footage commercially. Lastly, don't neglect metadata and keywording. The best footage in the world won't sell if no one can find it. So take time to properly tag and describe your work. Check out Fiverr, Shutterstock, and Getty Images if you want to sell your footage. Okay, brace yourselves because this next one is going to sound crazy. What if I told you that this mess could be your ticket to financial freedom? Enter the wild world of peer-to-peer storage rental. Platforms such as Neighbor are turning ordinary people into mini storage moguls. And here's how it works. You list your unused space, could be a corner of your garage, a spare room, or even a parking spot, and people who need storage rent it from you. And it's kind of like Airbnb, but for stuff. But here's where it gets interesting. You're not just limited to traditional storage. People are renting out space for everything from boat storage to band practice rooms. Find out why this side gig is becoming a popular choice for extra income in 2024. In terms of demand, this person claims that garage rentals are popular in Florida and cost $40 a day. For another one, renting out a backyard shed through Neighbor can provide a steady, low-effort income stream, as demonstrated by a homeowner earning $28 monthly with minimal tenant interaction. And this is somebody who just started out. So this passive income opportunity may be particularly suitable for those with spare outdoor space and fewer privacy concerns, though renters should check their lease agreement before participating. Now, unlike traditional side hustles, this one's about as passive as it gets. List it and forget it, and watch the money roll in. Now let's talk about some fail-safe tips to keep your storage empire from collapsing. First, check your lease or HOA rules. If you're renting or in a managed community, make sure you're allowed to sublet space. Second, consider security. You're responsible for the safety of your stored items. Invest in good locks and consider security cameras if you're storing high-value items. Lastly, have a solid contract. Clearly outline what can be stored, access times, and what happens if payments are missed. It'll save you headaches down the road. Check out these apps so you can start monetizing that cluttered space and turn your garage into a money-making machine. And by the way, storage-related videos tend to go viral on YouTube all the time, and so you might as well take videos about you doing this and put them on YouTube. So if you ever dreamed of your videos going viral and making a significant impact in 2024, I've got just the resource for you. Download my free guide on how to go viral in 2024 on YouTube and learn the strategies that will help you turn your passion into a powerful online presence. And this is a completely free guide that basically goes over the stuff that I wish I knew when I was first starting on YouTube. Now for our final side hustle. We're diving into a world where your opinion literally pays. Welcome to the lucrative land of product.
GoDaddy Arrow can get my business online in minutes with AI. Let's
product testing. Companies are dying to know what real people think about their products before they hit the shelves, and they're willing to pay for it. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've tried those survey sites, they're a waste of time. We're not talking about those penny-paying surveys. We're talking about real, meaty product testing gigs. And here's the secret. Look for specialized market research firms. They often pay more and offer more interesting products to test. Now let's find out why this side gig is becoming a popular choice for extra income in 2024. A new user testing participant earned $553 in their first 30 days, completing 53 tests while balancing a full-time job. And this side hustle allowed them to make extra income by dedicating time before work, during lunch, and in the evenings, averaging 3 to 4 tests per day without constant monitoring of the platform. Another user testing participant from Ireland earned $768 from 62 tests over 8 months, and this averaged 1 to 2 tests per week with occasional spikes to 4 to 5. And while keeping the platform open during work hours yields steady income, the frequency of available tests can vary based on demographics and location, with US and UK testers potentially seeing more opportunities. Now, before you start testing every product under the sun, let's talk about some fail-safe tips to keep your product testing career from failing its own test. First, be honest in your profiles. Lying to qualify for more studies will only lead to rejected work and a bad reputation. Secondly, respect NDAs. Many products you'll test aren't on the market yet. Leaking information can get you blacklisted from future opportunities. Lastly, don't rely on this as your main income. Product testing gigs can be inconsistent. Treat it as a fun side hustle, not a full-time job. Now go ahead and check out these companies to start making money today. And there you have it, 5 side hustle ideas that no one is talking about in 2024. From parking spaces to product testing, the opportunities are endless. And remember, the key to successful side hustles is finding something that fits your lifestyle and skills. Whether you're a night owl, a tech geek, or someone with an empty garage, there's a hustle out there for you. But here's the most important thing. You've got to start. All the knowledge in the world won't make you a dime if you don't take action.
Do it! Just do it!
So which of these side hustles are you going to try? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you've got a unique side hustle of your
All right, y'all, hold on. He keeps stealing the ball from me because I ain't looking. You punk.
It's DK and I'm back like I never left because I'm cooking up content like a chef, shooting videos like I'm Steph Curry. So hurry up, subscribe, because it's time for us to slide. If you're a part of the crew, you already know what to do. Throw them C's up. Throw them C's up in the comment section below. I'm about to help you guys go out there and scope. Now, let's get into, you see the title, you see the thumbnail. I'm going to give you guys 5 ways to make money in a cargo van. I'm helping you guys go out there and get them vans. Now, before we go ahead and get into the list, I just want to let you guys know this. This is not in a particular order. I'm just giving you 5 ways to make money. I'm also gonna give you a bonus, maybe 2 bonuses, I don't know. It depends on if you stay tuned to the full video and put me in your big screen video if you're gonna find out about the extra bonuses. Now, the first way you can make money using a cargo van is gig apps, of course. I know everybody, I know you're gonna say, I know you're gonna, look. Hey, I happen to like gig apps. That's one of my things I do with my cargo van. Now, the question is, what gig apps should you download? I do want to say this. I'm gonna give you guys a disclaimer. This all depends on your area. What works in my area may not work in your area, so you guys have to do your own research. I'm just gonna tell you guys some of the apps that I've used to make this money in a cargo van. Now, Roadie, R-O-A-D-I-E. Roadie with a double wrench. Roadie is one of the apps I've used. You're gonna pick up Lowe's orders sometimes. You're also gonna pick up Home Depot orders and Tractor Supply, and they have another place called BJ. That's in other markets, but things like that. You also have Dispatch, D-I-S-P-A-T-C-H, Dispatch. Dispatch, I did a lot of Sunrun orders. That's pretty much mostly what I did with Dispatch. I also did a couple other different orders and everything, but Dispatch is a great app to have, especially if you have Sunrun in your area. You also have Curry. Curry is also another app that I've used to make money in the cargo van. I also would go with Freight, F-R-A-Y-T, Freight. We're about to get to this money, don't hate. You can go ahead and go out and try the Freight app. You're gonna pick up Lowe's orders, and they have a lot of different random stuff. They actually had this crazy order, I'm gonna show you guys. It was from Illinois to Wisconsin to San Francisco. It was like 2,200 miles for like $2,900. I know. I'm definitely taking that for $2,900. But guess what? Don't forget you got to drive back home. Don't forget about that. Right. So that is another app you can use. Is free. And I got another one. I got another one for you guys, and it is Bungie. B-U-N-G-I-I. For the most part, with the Bungie app and also the Curry app sometimes, for sure the Bungie app, you are going to have to unload these items. So if you have 20 things of tile, you're gonna have to pick it up and put it in the person's garage. So make sure you keep that in mind while you're out there on the grind. And then we have Dolly, D-O-L-L-Y. Dolly is an app that customers use pretty much to have people pick up stuff. It could be a dresser, a bed, a mattress, a couch. It could be multiple different things. Also, they probably bought some on Facebook Marketplace and they want you to go pick it up and then drop it off to their house. You're creeping like a mouse.
Stop smashing Amazon's buy button and start getting Amazon to pay you instead, but not by selling physical products. Did you know that you can sell digital products?
Number two is expediting. This is where everybody see these YouTube channels where everybody's making all this buku, chameleon, quadrillion, fulfillion dollars, and one day in 24 hours they're making $1,500, $1,300, $2,000, all that stuff. It is expediting. Now, there's two different ways you can do this. Well, kind of multiple different ways. You can stay local or you can go over the road. Usually when you go over the road, you're gonna make more money, but you're gonna drive way more miles. I'm talking about 2,200 miles I told you guys about. That's like expediting. You're driving 2,200 miles for $2,900 and all that stuff. That's pretty much expediting. Now, you also can do this two ways. You can first go with a carrier company. Now, if you go under a carrier company, you most likely are not going to need a DOT or MC number. You're most likely going to go under their DOT and MC number. So pretty much what you're going to need is you're going to need your vehicle, you're going to need license, registration, and all that stuff. You're also going to need some insurance, which for the most part, you're going to have to use commercial insurance. Usually it's $1 million auto liability and $100,000 cargo. And then some of them have, like, it has to be $1,000 deductible and all this different type of stuff. So it really depends on the company. Now, I do want to say this with carrier companies. With carrier companies, each company has their own set of rules. Some of them allow you to go with other companies, like you can take loads from other companies, and some of them will like you to be exclusively under them, and that's it. That's all. You can't be under nobody else. You only can be under them, and that's it. So keep that in mind. Then you have option number two. Option number two is you get your own DOT, your own MC, your own authority. But with getting your own authority, it's going to take some time for your authority to age, which means you probably have to wait like 6 to 8 to 9 months for you to start getting some loads from some decent companies. Now, just so you guys know, some of these companies may be reluctant on giving you guys a load because you have a new authority. That is part of the territory. This is part of the trucking industry. And I can understand their part because they don't want you to get this new person this load and they mess up something. They don't deliver where they're supposed to deliver it. This may be their number one customer or number two customer and you are here playing games. So I can understand where they're coming from about that. So make sure you guys keep that in your mind while you're out there trying to shine. Next, number three. The third way you can make money using a cargo van is getting you a dedicated route. I understand dedicated routes is not for everybody. It's not for me personally, but that doesn't mean it's not for you. If you want to make the most money as possible, then you may want to get your dedicated route and add the gig gas on top of that. So, how do you find a dedicated route? You can find a dedicated route by going to Indeed, I-N-D-E-E-D. I've told you guys this many of times. That's where I find carrier companies. That's where I find dedicated routes at. You're going to go on Indeed. You're going to type in your area, and then you're going to put in cargo van owner operator, cargo van independent contractor, cargo van medical carrier. It depends on what kind of stuff you want to do. You're going to type that in, and it's going to have a whole bunch of companies you can sign up for. I do know one company that's you can deliver like little parcels and stuff like that, and that is T-Force Logistics. That's one company I'm going to give you guys off top. So, I do need you to do this though. Make sure you guys do your own research. Just because y'all hear me say it does not mean it's going to be work for you. Do your own research, and you need to find out if these companies are even in your area. So make sure you guys think about that before you go hurry up and sign up for something and you not do your research. So make sure you keep that in mind. Guess what? Begin to this money when you're dropping a dime. Number four. Number four is something that I kind of did. Not really. I did a little minor. You know, everybody was trying to act like they did. Yeah, I remember when I was doing that. I only did this like 1 or 2 or 3 times. So just let me just be clear about that. And that is pallet flipping. Now, I've had some pallets that was left over from a load that we dropped off or something like that, and they wanted me to keep the pallet. So I took the pallet to a pallet place. Sold it to them. For the most part, for decent pallets, you can get $4 to $5 each pallet. So I have done that before. So this is how you're gonna do it, right? If you're driving past, you ride them on, you about to do your order, you about to do your order, you about to do something, and they have pallets sitting there, you might want to pick those up and take those to your local pallet supply place and try to sell it to them. Look, you are gonna have to do some homework, and it's not gonna be sweet, it's not gonna be easy. You ain't just gonna be able to go boom, boom, boom. Because guess what? I did find out that certain pallets are worth money and certain pallets aren't worth money. The ones that they create at their warehouse where they just put the wood together, that's not pause, that's crazy. That's not actually gonna get you any money. They're gonna give you $0 for that because it's just wood. But if you actually have some good pallets, you can actually sell it to the place. What I would recommend you do is, before you go even look for pallets, or before you even go searching for pallets, go to your local pallet place and ask them what pallets are they looking for and how much will they pay for them, so you can get an idea. Take you a little picture, so anytime you drive riding around and you getting it, you see a pallet, you just pick that joint up and then drop it off on your way home or something like that. So that's what I would recommend, and that is pallet flipping. We're gonna keep on getting to this money like it ain't funny. Number 5, it's a great time to be alive. Number 5 is something that majority of the people do not like to do. A great percentage of America, I don't even know about in other countries, but America do not like to do this. And this is one of the things I don't like to do. But if you do decide you're gonna go with this number 5, you are gonna make a lot of money doing this, because you can charge a premium, because it's a lot of heavy lifting, it's a lot of labor. And that is moving. One of the worst things that somebody can ever ask you to do. Don't you hate when your friends, your guy, your cousin, whoever called you, your mom, your dad, I need you to come and move this. That's like the worst thing somebody can ask you to do. If they ask you to help them move, it's like the worst thing you could do, because you're gonna be hot, sweating, it's gonna be critical. So, moving. Now, shout out to my guy, Big CJ, over on his YouTube channel. He has created his own website, and he has been doing some moving services, and he's been making some great money doing it. Also, Mark the Mentor, if you want to check out his channel, he talks about moving. That was his claim to fame, was moving. He started with a pickup truck and worked all the way to 15 box trucks doing moving. So, if you want to do some moving, you can make some great money, but it's going to be a lot of hard labor. Now, I will tell you guys this. This is something that I figured out over time of doing, having a cargo van and everything. One of two things is going to happen. Either you are going to do the heavy lifting, or your vehicle is going to do the heavy lifting. Either one of the two. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you are going to do this for a long term, one of the two things is going to happen. It depends on what you want to do. I know that some people may think that driving over the road and all that stuff is sweet, it's easy. It's just drive. I'm a driver. I'll be driving. Hey, it sounds good when you're talking about it. But when you really, and you've been driving, when you're really out there and you've been driving for 12 hours, 13 hours, and it's snowing and raining and doing all that stuff, you driving from coast to coast, it's not as fun as you may think it is. I'm just gonna let you guys know that right now. Also, don't forget, you might have to be sleeping in your van and all that stuff. Everybody glamorizes over the road stuff because they see the money, but they don't see the sacrifices these people have to put in. Also, moving is not a joke. You can mess up not just mess up somebody's house, you can injure yourself. And if you injure yourself, you could be out of commission. It can be over with. The jig can be up. If you lift something wrong, tweak something wrong, or maybe your partner, the person you lifting it with, ain't lift it right. They lift it wrong, you trying to go down the stairs, they tweak something, y'all drop a whole piano or drop a whole dresser on somebody's leg or mess up somebody's back, and then you're done. The jig is up. So, make sure you guys keep that in mind. I do know with the move you can make some great money. Also, with over the road you can make some great money. But also understand with over the road, you, my friend, are not going to be home very often. So if you got
right.
$20, $180. That's how many clients I'm going to get you, and that's how many days it's going to take me to do it. And I will do it on a pay-on-results basis, and I will guarantee it works, as I have done for more than 2,000 agency owners, coaches, and consultants.
So you want to become a millionaire, but you're stuck trying to find the right balance between studying and making money. You're probably on a tight budget, cramming for exams, living off cup noodles, and questioning whether going to college or uni was the right decision in the first place. And I hate to say it, but you could be right to wonder. As studies show, 23% of bachelor's degrees have a negative return on investment. Even more surprising is that 41% of graduates are working in jobs that don't require a degree. So what's the solution? Well, most millionaires have multiple streams of income. 65% have at least 3, 45% have 4, and 29% have more than 5. The problem is, many of the popular income streams aren't realistic for students to start from their dorm room. That's why I've put together 7 great ideas you can actually start today, all packed into my trusty toolkit. So let's get into it, quite literally. Income stream idea 1 is TikTok Shop. This is absolutely popping off, making it the perfect opportunity for students to earn some extra cash with zero startup costs and no equipment needed, apart from your phone and maybe a ring light, just like this one. I picked this up for under $20. When I was younger, I remember my mum buying from catalogues and then switching to watching QVC and doing some TV shopping. This is the modern day equivalent, just way faster and more interactive. The opportunity is huge, but don't just take my word for it. Let me give you some stats. Last year, TikTok Shop brought in 11.09 billion in gross merchandise volume, and by the end of this year, they're expected to generate 17.5 billion in sales. So how much money can you realistically make? The truth is, the amount of money you can make depends on the products in your store. Some products simply drive more impulse buys than others. Beauty and personal care products are the highest grossing category. I mean, the second highest category is women's wear and underwear. If you target one of these top performing categories, you can make anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s a month, and possibly even more if you land on a viral product or trend. How much time will it take? If you want to make a lot of money, around 3 hours a night is a good goal. But if your target is smaller, maybe an extra $100 a month or so, you can spend less time, maybe just an hour a day. Now, I know some of you are in tough courses like medicine, for example, and 3 hours a night might sound like too much, but don't worry, there's an easy fix. TikTok Shop has an affiliate program where other people can help sell your products. You don't need a big celebrity like Kylie Jenner to promote your items. You can work with smaller creators called micro-influencers who can help you get your products in front of the right people. So how can you get started? All you need to do is download the TikTok Seller Center app. Once you've got it, you can upload product images, descriptions, and prices directly through the app. Then just submit everything for review. It usually takes a few days to get approved. Income stream idea 2 is focus groups. Believe it or not, companies are willing to pay good money just to hear your opinions. Your feedback helps them improve their products, and they're happy to reward you for it. In fact, you can earn up to $250 for just a 1-hour focus group. For students, this is a fantastic option because, let's face it, after a full day of lectures, most people just want to chill out, and that's exactly what makes online focus groups such a good option. You can earn money while relaxing in bed, all wrapped up in your duvet. So how much money can you realistically make? The answer is, well, it depends. Whilst yes, it's true, you could earn up to $250 for a 1-hour session, the actual amount really varies based on how niche the group is. The more specific or rare your feedback, the more valuable they are, and that means higher pay. Think about it. If a company is doing a study on people over 6'4", that's not exactly your average height. Someone who fits that description, like yours truly, could earn more than someone joining a focus group about, let's say, chicken wing lovers, because it's way harder to find someone who towers over door frames than it is to find someone who loves Wingstop. How much time will it take? Focus groups are usually quick, ranging from 30 minutes to a couple of hours, depending on the topic and how detailed the discussion needs to be. Right, how can you get started? There are plenty of legit focus group websites out there, but there are also some scams, so it's important to stick with the trusted platforms. Some of the top legit sites include Respondent, User Interviews, and focusgroup.com. Legit companies will never ask you for upfront payments or private information like your bank login. If something seems off, it probably is. Income stream idea 3 is modernizing boring businesses. Now, everywhere you look, there are lots of boring businesses quietly making money, like laundromats, self-storage facilities, and vending machines, for example. These businesses might not seem glamorous, but they're absolute gold mines. They're reliable, recession-proof, and provide services people will always need. But because they're so boring, younger people overlook them. Therefore, most of them are run by older people. This means the majority are stuck in the past with old systems and little to no marketing. That's where you come in. With just a few modern upgrades that you can do from your laptop, you can significantly boost their profits and then take a cut for yourself. So how much money can you realistically make? A laundromat can bring in around $300,000 a year, with profit margins between 20 to 30%. Car washes can generate annual revenues of $500,000 to $900,000. With software like Odoo, you could set up online booking for a laundromat or automate the billing process for a self-storage facility. These upgrades save time. $100,000. With software like Odoo, you could set up online booking for a laundromat or automate the billing process for a self-storage facility. These upgrades save time, keep things running smoothly, and make life easier for customers. Plus, when the business is more efficient and customer friendly, it's bound to bring in more money. The best way to structure the deal is through a profit split. This allows you to directly benefit from the success.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store preloaded
Success you bring to the business. Let's say your efforts add $50,000 to a laundromat's annual profit and you negotiate a 20% cut of that. That's $10,000 in your pocket for one client. A profit split is great as it makes sure you're incentivized to get results, and it's a good option for business owners since you only get paid if they see real growth. So how much time will it take? Let's take a laundromat as an example. Using Odoo's accounting app, you can automate billing and track payments instantly, so you can completely get rid of their messy cash systems and paper receipts. Once you set up the service in the app, it handles invoices and payments automatically, saving them hours of work every week. And you know what they say? Time is money. Setting this up may take a few hours to a couple of days, depending on the business. But once it's done, your involvement can drop to just an hour or two a week, just to review reports or make small adjustments. Right, how can you get started? Well, the first step is to find a boring business with potential. Look for ones that are outdated, poorly marketed, or underperforming. These are your opportunities to step in and level them up. Once you've chosen a business, you need to work out what software you're going to use. I personally like Odoo as they're an all-in-one solution, which means you can use all their different apps to level businesses up in a variety of different areas. Since I was planning on mentioning Odoo, I reached out to them to see if they wanted to sponsor this portion of the video. They agreed and are also giving you your first application free for life with unlimited support and hosting. So if you want to give it a try, then check out the link in the description. Income stream idea 4, a part-time job. Now, I know a lot of you might roll your eyes at this one, but hear me out. It's one of the best ways to make money as a student while learning how the real world actually works. Ooh, I think they've been in my toolkit a bit too long. I hate it when I see people turning their noses up at students working at McDonald's or in cafes. Jobs like these should be respected, not looked down on. Back in my day, I was making trash cans for less than $2 an hour. It wasn't glamorous, but it taught me resilience, responsibility, and the value of every penny I earned. Whether you believe it or not, these part-time jobs aren't just about the money. They give you the skills you'll carry forward, making you more valuable and employable in the future. My mate Daniel Priestley worked at McDonald's before becoming a multimillionaire, so who's to say that can't be you too? So how much money can you realistically make? This depends heavily on the type of job you decide to get. I'd say there are 3 main types. The first is a traditional part-time job. Let's stick with our McDonald's example for this one. For a part-time job as a crew member, you'd be looking at an average of $12.81 per hour according to Indeed.com. The second type is more of a specialised part-time job, such as tutoring. The amount you can make varies based on what grade level you're able to teach, with the lowest being elementary school level. However, as most students will be currently studying at college level, they would probably be best suited to tutor high school kids. The last type of job is freelancing. You can learn a remote skill like video editing, copywriting, coding, or high ticket sales. With this, you can set your prices at whatever level the people are willing to pay you. So how can you get started? Well, the first thing you need is a solid CV. Print it off and hand it directly to local businesses. Just keep it clean. No Friday night photos with a vape hanging out of your mouth and a beer in your hand. Income stream idea 5 is selling your stuff. Now, I'll never understand how students manage to collect so much stuff, and half of it, let's be honest, you don't even need. In my last video, I talked about living frugally and being mindful of what you buy. What I didn't mention is how important it is to keep an eye on what you can sell. Most of us have wardrobes full of clothes we barely wear. I bet if you went into yours right now, you'd find at least 5 things you could sell. I'm not saying you need to sell all your pots and pans and start eating your dinner with a spanner from your toolbox. Just take a look around and see what you don't need anymore. Chances are there's money laying around your room waiting to be made. Mind you, if you do find an old spanner you don't need, you might as well sell that as well. So, how much money can you realistically make? Well, always check how much similar items are selling for before you list anything. For example, if you've got a textbook that's still in demand, you could make at least 50% of its new price easily. But be careful. Don't make the mistake my assistant Millie made. She went through a vintage phase and sold a dress for $5, but it cost her $4 to ship it, so she ended up making just $1. So keep an eye on your shipping costs and make sure the sale is worth your time. So how much time will it take? Listing items on eBay or Vinted is quick and easy. You can snap some photos, upload them and write a short description in minutes. The only time-consuming part might be posting the items, but even that's easy enough now, as lots of local shopping centres have lock boxes where you can drop off your parcels. Right, how can you get started? Well, we've already talked about platforms like Vinted and eBay, so just pick one and set up an account. Upload some clear photos, write honest descriptions, and price your items competitively. Once you run out of things to sell, you can ask fellow students for stuff they don't want anymore and sell it on a commission. Income stream idea 6, drop shipping. Drop shipping is a modern classic when it comes to side hustles, and for good reason. It's perfect.
Make 2025 the year you make faster checkouts happen. Make
Perfect for students who want to make money without the hassle of holding inventory or shipping products themselves. With drop shipping, you set up an online store, choose products from suppliers, and when a customer makes a purchase, the supplier handles the shipping for you. This means you can run your store from your dorm room with nothing more than a laptop and a bit of creativity. So how much money can you realistically make? Your earning potential with drop shipping depends on the products you sell and the effort you put into marketing your store. On average, profit margins are around 20 to 30%, but for high ticket items like furniture or electronics, you can make even more. If you sell a $50 product with a 25% margin, you'd make $12.50. If you sell 100 units in a month, that's $1,250 in profit. So how much time will it take? Well, setting up your store is pretty quick if you use a tool like Build Your Store AI, which will set you up with a great free Shopify store in less than 2 minutes. It just makes things so much easier. I'll drop a link in the description. It will guide you through finding winning products and suppliers, and then all you have to do is focus on your marketing. Income stream idea 7. Language dubbing. Language dubbing is a fantastic way to make money by helping businesses and creators translate their content into different languages. And it's something I'm having done right now. We're dubbing my YouTube videos into Portuguese, Spanish, Hindi, and Japanese. Businesses need people like you, whether as a voice actor or someone who can help organize and manage the dubbing process. So how much money can you realistically make? If you're working as a voice actor, the average hourly rate in the US is $48.17. If you're offering dubbing services by connecting voice actors to businesses, the earning potential can scale even more. You could charge clients a flat fee or take a percentage of the project's budget. So how much time will it take? As a voice actor, the time commitment depends on your level of experience. If you're new, you might want to spend a few hours each week taking voice workshops or practicing your delivery. If you're managing a dubbing service, you'll need to spend time networking with businesses, connecting with voice actors, and overseeing the project timeline. So how can you get started? Platforms like Fiverr and Upwork are excellent places to upload your samples and get clients. Focus on high demand markets like Hindi, Portuguese, Spanish, and Japanese. If you want to know what the laziest way to make money is, then I'm going to leave that video right up there, but don't click on it just yet. Make sure to subscribe if you want to grow your wealth, okay? I'll see you over there.
So we off the side hustles for now. Let me see. Hobbies for 30.
Let me guess, you are a guy who spends a lot of the time in a state of slight anxiety. And most of the day, you feel bored. And also, quite often, you find yourself just straight up feeling lonely, right? Now, you watch all these glow videos, you put in the work, you're seeing improvements, but this doesn't really solve those issues, right? But finding a few solid hobbies will. After all, it was the philosopher Viktor Frankl who said the meaning of life is to at all times have a purpose, something to do, a passion. So I believe there are 4 categories of hobbies, and you should find a hobby that lies within each category. So to illustrate this to you, my editor came up with this fancy Venn diagram with each category. On the left, we have social and solo hobbies, right? Hobbies you do with other people and things you do just by yourself. And then the other 2 categories are mental hobbies and physical hobbies. Pretty self-explanatory. But you want to find hobbies that lay within each of these categories. Luckily, some hobbies overlap and will fill out 2 categories. Some will only fill 1, but ideally you want to fill out all 4 categories. So today I'm going to share with you some of the best and my favorite hobbies within each of the categories, and if any of these seem interesting to you, I recommend trying them out, and you'll be a better, more complete person because of it. So first off, social hobbies. I think it was Aristotle who first said that we humans are social creatures. We have this intrinsic desire, this need to connect with other humans. You need to have a social outlet, some people that you meet with, some people you interact with, and kind of fill out that social tank, so to speak. So some things you can do is you could take a language class. This is a really cool one. You meet other people, meet some cute chicks maybe from different countries or whatever, but also you're learning, and then you could go implement it in that country or multiple countries if it's, a language that applies to multiple places. A dance class. This one is epic. Everybody is impressed when a guy can bust out some dance moves, especially women. You sign up for a dance class, you can meet a bunch of different people, you're basically forced to interact with them, you'll probably have the opportunity to dance with some cute chicks, and then the next time you're at the club or a wedding or something, you can bust out the moves and basically be the star of that event. Group hikes. Group hikes are awesome. It's an activity, you go get some sunshine, get your vitamin C levels met, and you're also hanging out with other people. It's nice and slow, you can talk with them, and also exercising a little bit, you're burning some calories, and you're staying fit. Group hikes are epic. And the last one is one that I've done in the past, and I recommend you do too, is a bowling league. Bowling is super fun, especially when you get really good at it, and then also you have to take breaks to let other people bowl, so what do you do during those breaks? You just sit down and talk with the people around you and build connections. Now, before we get into the solo hobbies, first we got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video over at Tej Hanley. So shout out to these guys. This is a skincare company, and I've been actually using their products since my very first YouTube videos. My first YouTube video that actually went viral, I was talking about using Tej Hanley, not sponsored or anything, and I've been using it ever since. So shout out to them. Tej Hanley is a subscription-based skincare company. So if you have no idea what you're doing when it comes to skincare, I definitely recommend checking them out, and I recommend starting with their level 1 skincare package. You simply go online and sign up, and it's delivered to your door each and every month without you having to move a muscle. The level 1 skincare package comes with a morning and evening moisturizer, a daily face wash, and an exfoliating scrub. So basically all the basics that a man needs, especially if you're just totally new to this, don't know what you're doing or what your skin type is like. I think the best thing about Tej Hanley, other than you not having to leave your house, is that the daily moisturizer has SPF 20 sunblock in it. That's super important because the sun is going to do crazy damage to your skin, so you got to be proactive and start, blocking it. So the Tej Hanley moisturizer takes care of that for you. So yeah, I've been using it for the past 4 years, and it's keeping my skin looking right. If you're interested, I'll put the link down below. And I got a deal, so you know what that means. You guys get a deal too. Click the link in the description and get 30% off of your first box plus a free gift. You're welcome. Start taking care of your Start taking care of your skin, boys. It's important. Next category is solo hobbies. You can't always count on having a bunch of people around, and you're not going to want to have that anyways. After you fulfill your social outlet levels, you're going to want to have some downtime. So you need to have some hobbies other than, you know, playing video games and jerking off to fulfill that, right? So I recommend trying out getting into some sort of art, something that kind of, you know, engages that creative side of your brain, you know, painting or sculpting. That's one that I definitely want to get into in the future. I think it's beautiful creating things like the David by Michelangelo, Perseus and Medusa. How sick would that be to be able to create something like that? Anyway, woodworking, just taking a chunk of wood and creating something useful out of it, like a cabinet or a desk, table, you know? I did it in high school and it was so much fun and so peaceful and calm. Reading. I know what you're thinking. Reading's gay, reading sucks. Ugh, I do enough reading in school. No, trust me. I thought the same thing. You know, a few years ago, got back into reading, and when you find a good book that you're totally into, it's literally better than watching TV or playing video games. It's like so good. It's so enjoyable. My favorite book that I read recently is called The Madhouse at the End of the Earth, and it's about this ship in the 1900s that was trying to sail the furthest south into the Antarctic, and the ice froze around them and they got stuck there for like 4 months, and it's just crazy. So consider reading that. Learning Photoshop or editing videos. This is something that you can do if you have a laptop or a computer. Get good at manipulating photos or creating YouTube videos or something, and maybe one day you could land a job and make some money doing that. My editor here, he makes a living doing this stuff, and when you start getting the hang of it, it's super enjoyable and therapeutic. I know, because I did it for like the first 4 years that I was on YouTube. Next category is mental. You can't spend your whole day running and jumping and lifting heavy shit. You need to chill out sometimes and sharpen your mind. So here's some mental hobbies that are going to help with that. Chess. Chess is an extremely mental challenge, and no matter how good you get, you can always get better. It's complete strategy, and it's just badass when you see suave gentleman playing chess. He looks like a fucking G. Poker. Poker is another one of those hobbies, one of those activities that looks so cool. When you see someone that's good at poker, they just look like a freaking badass. I unfortunately don't know how to play poker, but that's definitely something I want to learn in the future. Programming or coding. Opening your laptop and creating a website that people can use, right? I took a coding class back in college and it was super, super challenging. I know a lot of you guys are probably really good at it and it's super impressive. I'm super impressed by it. You guys don't care. I'm impressed. And then finally, learning an instrument. This is also something that I wish I had done sooner, and I still am not doing it, but I would definitely love to learn an instrument someday. It's just so cool, so impressive. It's just as impressive as learning a language or something like that. And you can use it whenever you want for the rest of your life. Once you learn that skill, you have it always. And that brings us to the last and final category, which is, of course, physical hobbies. I think everybody needs at least one thing that gets them moving the body and conditioning their body each and every day. For me, I love running. Try out running. It's so therapeutic when you get in that zone. You really do get this high thing going on, and you never ever feel bad after a long run. I mean, it might hurt a little bit, but afterwards you feel so good and so rewarding. Practice MMA, judo, jujitsu, karate, grappling, right? Boxing even. Is that MMA? Yeah, I think so. These are incredibly hard workouts and they have so many benefits. They make you obviously more fit, but also they sharpen your discipline skills, your patience, your timing, your reactions, everything. CrossFit. CrossFit is like the ultimate workout. I don't know if you guys saw that show Physical 100 on Netflix, the 100 most fit people in Korea to compete, and the person that won, spoiler alert, he was a CrossFitter. He was the most fit person. So CrossFit is like the best workout. As much as people clown on it, CrossFit's dope. And then finally, what other than a team sport, something like volleyball or basketball, something where you can interact with other people, you're getting in a great workout, but also you're building relationships, and you know, it's fun as So that's it. Those are my recommendations. Consider trying some of those out and try to fill every category. And until next time, peace.
Have you ever wondered how much more you could earn from each web design project without adding more to your workloads? Today, I'm excited to share how you can do just that with Wix Studio's super lucrative revenue share program. Whether you're a freelancer, run an agency, or manage a productized service, Wix Studio not only offers the tools to
I ain't gonna leave y'all out, women. Okay, we'll watch this just cause.
What a man can do, a woman can do better is a statement that applies best to Sigma females. They are able to take on any job they set their eyes on, even the so-called manly jobs reserved for men. The Sigma female is picky when it comes to exchanging her time for money. She goes for the highest bidding job that gives her the liberty to soar like an eagle. It's a statement that what a man can do, a woman can do better is a statement that applies best to Sigma females. They are able to take on any job they set their eyes on, even the so-called manly jobs reserved for men. The Sigma female is picky when it comes to exchanging her time for money. She goes for the highest bidding job that gives her the liberty to soar like an eagle. 9 out of 10 times, the Sigma female will choose to be her own boss, working for herself, and the one time she lands a job, it's a job she is passionate about and would likely stay at it for a very long time. The staggering statistics about job satisfaction reported by Sigma females is old news, and the new news is that you would never find a Sigma female working as a receptionist, a sales rep, a secretary, or a waitress. And the list continues. The following are some Sigma hobbies that has made her anywhere between 6 to 7 figure income a year. Before I continue, I want to get your opinion on this. I am thinking of tweaking the content of this channel in the nearest future, and I would like to know what other topics interest you after you hit the like button. She loves to look for clues and patterns and would naturally fit into any kind of investigative job, as she wouldn't hesitate to abandon the real world in pursuit of a lead. What makes a Sigma female a good investigator is her open and single-minded nature and her inability to twist facts. She can turn her hobby of clues and searching patterns into working as an investigative journalist in the papers, as a reporter in the radio, or as a TV host of hard talk shows. Honesty to this lady is a virtue, and she sees the papers, radio, and television as an outlet to stake her claim by speaking for the masses and revealing the truth as it is. The truth is bitter, and yet it must be spoken as far as Sigmas are concerned. So long as she has her facts correct, nothing can hold her back from telling, even if it would cost her her neck. She loves to tell the truth as it is and want both sides of the story to be heard, so that the masses be given an equal opportunity to choose which side of the story to believe in. The Sigma female loves to travel and enjoys jobs that present her with the opportunity to travel the world, learn new things, and meet many new faces while working. Working as an explorer, freelancer, naturalist, environmentalist, or conservationist are jobs that satisfy her curiosity to learn, visit new places, and discover the unknown about cultures and people. Female Sigmas love to journal, draw, or paint from time to time, depending on which they love most. As artists, writers, painters, sculptors, DJs, music or film producers, the best way for these Sigmas to express what is on their imagination and earn a living from it is on a blank sheet of paper or a white canvas. Arts is a complex discipline that the Sigma female understands. Her drawings and paintings are covered in deep emotions, expressing how she sees the world and how the world sees her. Sigma females love to plan, and most of them make a living in the field of events planning. They can plan anything that needs to be planned, from wedding plans to surprise parties. Even if she is not a professional, get any Sigma female you can if you can afford a professional event planner. With her ability to forecast and a large frontal lobe to run every scenario and the possibility of Sigma female you can if you can afford a professional event planner. With her ability to forecast and a large frontal lobe to run every scenario and the possibility of anything going wrong, she can plan any event depending on the size of your pocket. The Sigma female loves to read, and a library to the Sigma female is paradise on earth.
That last one was
Flipping
beautiful.
pages around and perceiving the smell of fresh ink and the scent of old dusty books is no different from dwelling in the fountain of knowledge. As a librarian, she has an opportunity to travel places, visit ancient cities, relive the lives of martyrs, and take fancy vacations while sitting on the same spot through books. They love jobs that allow them to categorize things, order them, and place tags on them for easy navigation. Being a librarian is the only mundane job that does not bore Sigmas. Sigma females make the top 1% of elite designers in the fashion industry. They are responsible for the fast-changing trends in fashion today because they enjoy designing more than the final product. The process of designing entails imagining, conceiving, and innovating the product, which gives them the most fulfillment. Once the design is done, it is time to move on to the next, and hence the changing trends. Because Sigmas believe in justice for all, you will find a good number of them working as lawyers, activists, lawmakers, law enforcement officers, and as both private and police detectives to help the needy. And in order to do so, they aim for the highest rank so as to minimize external influences on their judgment calls in a way to pass on biased judgment. She will not hesitate to resign from such a job and speak out if hierarchy should tamper or try to influence her decisions. To avoid these problems, most of them choose to operate on their own terms, mostly in the private sector, as private law firms or private detectives. Her love for complex things and the ability to understand complex things easily makes her an excellent instructor because she is capable of breaking down complex processes into simple and easy to understand chunks. Through empathy, she can pinpoint every learner's difficulty and tailor the lesson to their needs. The Sigma female is good with beginners, and as a teacher, she is interested in abstract subjects like mathematics, physics, psychology, philosophy, law, and many others. There are many more hobbies of Sigma females that can be turned into earned income, and all you need to do is to identify that hobby you relate more with and squeeze out the dollars from it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks
That's my
for
girl.
being there.
Hey, I'm going in the wisdom tank right here. That was beautiful, just for your ladies out there that's thinking and doing. Hold on, we can't get too far off topic though. Women will pay for. Hold on. Look at all of this. Look at this. Let's go to the oldest. Let me hear this. Let me hear this.
This video is dedicated to the neglected people of the world. The untold truth about the people of hard work, little pay, and no appreciation. These men and women are the muscles of the world. They are the pizza delivery guy, dog walkers, babysitters, nanny, Uber drivers, Amazon's delivery drones, bartenders, gardeners, street sweepers, windshield cleaners, janitors, security officers, cameramen, editors, truck pushers, secretaries, nurses, teachers, personal assistants, mechanics, plumbers, bricklayers, carpenters, storekeepers, painters, drainage workers, laborers, receptionists. The list goes on and is far from exhaustion. These men and women are the backbone of the society. They form the pillars on which civilization is built, and they are the invincible grease that ensures the smooth running of everyday's activity. They dig, they clean, they hammer and juggle things around to make our lives better. Yet, they are never treated fairly by their employers. They receive far less compensation compared to the time and effort they put in their work. The reason for their ill treatment is best known to their employers. Talent is not evenly distributed for the sake of establishing a codependency between humans. That is why we need janitors to cater for the environment and CEOs to run things smoothly in the cleaned environment. Some people work at these menial jobs because of unforeseen circumstances. Others are natural built for this kind of work. Some will go as far as declining offers for better jobs just to do these menial jobs because it makes them happy. For this reason, we sometimes mistake them for second class and treat them like second class. We are equals. Everybody is a boss in their respective fields of expertise. Show respect to the other person when you are in his area of expertise and give them honest and sincere appreciation for a job well done. The men and women of hard work, little pay, and no appreciation will never get a nickel increase on their paychecks, not to dream of a promotion. They are the ones on a constant threat for salary reduction because we don't know what we pay them for. Nobody cares to notice their presence until the day they leave. The day your babysitter does not show up for work permanently is the day you would recognize how valuable she was, even more than your partner. The day your driver does not show up for work and you have to drive yourself to work and get to do his so-called menial job, that is the day you understand how much he does for you for little pay and no appreciation. The day you invite the business partner for some Italian food and Carlos, your cook, decides to quit that same day, you learn never to bite the finger that fits you, but to shower it with appreciation. The funniest thing
Yes.
about the men and women of hard work, little pay, and no appreciation is that they are trustworthy to a fault, and we trust them with our deepest secrets, our most valuable possession, our families, and even our lives, but yet we treat them with such contempt and disgust. We use them as tools to achieve our personal interests, abuse and question their loyalties at the same time. When we are done exploiting them and the time comes for us to compensate them as promised, we cook up lies and tell funny stories about them and make the world see them as the bad sheep. It is quite a paradox that we intentionally ill-treat our babysitters and nannies and at the same time entrust our children's lives to them. You ill-treat your personal assistant and at the same time entrust her to handle sensitive documents that could be used to sabotage your position in the company. Your driver knows things he is not supposed to know, but that doesn't bother you when you ill-treat him. Little things do matter. In the same way you burnt all the midnight candles to be recognized and be appreciated by others, it is in the same spirit that these men and women of hard work, little pay, and no appreciation work hard every day just to hear someone like you say, "Thank you for a job well done." Everyone craves appreciation, more pay, and less work. So let's give honest appreciation when it is due to these neglected people of the world.
I don't know if it's the accent or what.
Less of the boss you want everybody to see in you. Don't forget you were once in their position before you rose to greatness, and tomorrow you may be humbled with the same job when your bank files bankruptcy. Trust me when I say this, I have witnessed it firsthand in my country caused by the ongoing crisis. Christmas is around. Use this opportunity to salute at least one of these great men and women before it is too late. If you still don't see the need to appreciate these men and women, may I remind you that from January to now, you have made contact with at least one and probably treated them. If not, you have a personal assistant, secretary, editors, and the list continues, that has handled 3/4 of your shitty work, read and responded to your emails, scheduled, cancelled, and kept track of your meetings, not forgetting the times he or she acted as your babysitter. And all she got from your generosity is, "What do I pay you for?" When she screws up, you send her flowers with a gift card. "What do I pay you for?" She works 24/7 for you, carries work home just to make sure she gets right by you. She is a parent like you, and her children needs their mother, as yours do. How many times have you heard the CEO of any company, small or big, probably appreciating their janitors, security men, receptionists, etc. in his company by names and not by support staff? Some don't even know the person keeping their office clean every day, and not to talk of knowing them by name. How does the CEO of janitors sound to your ears? The day you start to sincerely appreciate the good deeds of these people of hard work, little pay, and no appreciation, that will mark the beginning of a trouble-free world. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and
I will not.
see you in the next video. Bye.
This going in my save collection for expansion pack. We're gonna watch some more of these because we need to hear this. I mean, she's telling it. She's speaking to the codes that's inside us to help us to get to where we want to go. Okay.
In this video, you will find carefully crafted words of affirmations that addresses various aspects of money making, wealth mindset, and attracting abundance. Each word has been thoughtfully constructed to resonate with your aspirations and desires, encouraging a shift in consciousness towards embracing prosperity and success. Affirmations are positive statements that, when repeated consistently and with conviction, have the potential to transform your beliefs and thought patterns. By incorporating these words into your daily practice, you can harness the innate power of your mind to manifest financial abundance and unlock new opportunities for wealth. Now, with an understanding of their purpose and potential, delve into this collection of affirmations and choose the ones that resonate deeply with you. Incorporate them into your daily routine, repeating them with intention, conviction, and gratitude. As you do, witness the transformative power of these affirmations as they guide you towards a path of financial empowerment and limitless opportunities. Embrace the journey, trust in the process, and let these affirmations serve as your guiding light towards a future of financial abundance. Repeat after me. Money flows to me effortlessly and abundantly.
Money flows
I am a
to me.
magnet for wealth and
Man, I ain't
prosperity.
doing this. Ain't nobody doing this. Thought they was gonna talk to us about something. Dang, everything is Sigma females. All right, we gonna leave here. We gonna get off this channel in a second. They ain't got nothing else. Yeah, they ain't got nothing else for us. All right, so planning for salvation. Yes, sir. My man's look like he about to tell us something.
Wouldn't you like to be sure when you leave here tonight that you're on your way to heaven?
Yes, sir.
You're on your way to paradise with Christ? You can be sure. The Bible says, these things I write unto you that believe on the name of the Son of God, that ye may know that you have eternal life. Paul said, I am persuaded that he can keep all those things I've committed unto him against that day. I know. You can know. You say, well, Billy, what would I have to do? All right, you'd have to do three things. First, you must repent of your sins. Repent means to change your mind, change your way of living. Let Christ come and help you change. He'll help you do the changing. You can't change by yourself. You're too weak. But if you'll say, Lord, I'm willing, He'll help you. And then the second thing is by faith receive Christ who died for you and rose again. You can't understand it all, but you come by faith and you trust and you put your total confidence in Him and Him alone. And then thirdly, you obey Him and follow Him and serve Him.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. All right. Oh, they took him up off of there. Look, they took Billy Graham up off of there after that.
Stop researching with ChatGPT. Its information is not reliable, and you can't use it.
Number one enemy of planning is looking for who to blame. Always waiting for someone to help you. Please accept responsibility. Plan your way out of that trouble like the prodigal son. Enhance your value by tapping into God-given potentials in you. In John chapter 5, there was a man at a pool called Bethesda. This man was there for 38 years. How many years? He was busy telling Jesus, I have no man to help me. Okay, if no man was to help you.
Hold on.
Do you number your days? Do you realize how important every single day is? I want to speak tonight on the brevity of life. Do you know in the days of Jesus, as fast as a person could go was as fast as a horse could run. And that happened all the way until 1830, when we developed an engine faster than a horse. You know, we've invented all of these modern things to save time, and we have less time than ever before. We have a lot less time now than my father and mother had in the horse and buggy days. And yet we have fast automobiles and fast airplanes, and we're running from place to place like mad people. Time is collapsing on us. How much longer do we have? God will endure forever, but on this earth, we're like a shadow that's declining. We're all dying. From the moment you were born, you started dying. You have so much time, but for what? You have time to serve Christ. You have time to live according to His will. You have time to obey Him. Have you done like the psalmist said in 31:15 and put yourself at God's disposal when he said, my times are in your hands? And what are you going to do with those years? Each human being has exactly the same number of hours and minutes every day.
Every day.
Do you know how many minutes there are in a day?
We got the same 24.
1,440. Do you know how many hours there are in a week? 168. Now, if you live to be 70, your first 15 is childhood or adolescence. You spend 20 years in bed. The last 5 years are physical limitations, and you're curtailing your activities. That means you only have 30 years left for everything else. 30 years to live. And part of that time has to be spent eating and working and figuring up your income tax. The scripture asks this question, what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. Our time is already in God's hands. God has a day already set for your being taken from this world. It may be in an accident. Whatever it is, it's already set. You will stand before the great judgment of God to give an account of how you spent this life and what you did about Jesus Christ, because God gave His Son to die for your sins, because you see, we're all sinners. We all have the same disease. I don't care what the color of your skin is. God doesn't look at the color of your skin. God looks at your heart. And God sees that you have a spiritual heart disease. And that spiritual heart disease is called sin. It's interesting to me that rich people cannot buy more hours. Scientists cannot invent disease. And that spiritual heart disease is called sin.
Hey, we about to get up out of here in a minute.
It's interesting to me that rich people cannot buy more hours.
Yes.
Scientists cannot invent new minutes. You cannot even save time to spend it on another day. The scripture says that we're to redeem the time. It's a phrase out of the business world. It means to buy the time. Take 10% of your time and say, Lord, this is yours. For Bible study, for prayer. Have you committed your whole life to Christ? Has that ever happened to you? Oh, you say, yes, I've been baptized, I've been confirmed. I go once in a while to church. I think about God once in a while. But have you really committed to it? Are you totally committed to Him? And are you sure if you died at this moment you'd go to heaven? Are you certain your sins are forgiven? That's why Christ came and died on the cross and shed His blood. And God raised Him from the dead. And then there's the tyranny of time. It controls us and we become frustrated, running from one thing to another because we don't feel that we have enough time to get everything done that needs to be done. Jesus said, I must work the works of Him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. The night is going to come to you and you won't have an opportunity to serve God. Serve Him while you can. Serve Him now. Put Him first in your life. Yet at the end of His life, He said, I finished the work that you gave me to do. God has a plan for your life. And you can finish it with God's help. And He'll give you a joy and a peace that you never dreamed existed if you put your confidence in Him. Oh yes, when Jesus left the earth, there were people that needed to be healed and lives that needed to be touched. But Jesus said He had finished the work that had been assigned to Him by the Father. God has assigned a work that only you can fill. You are unique. Nobody can take your place. And God needs you in His kingdom. Time can be our tool, but we can also be its slave.
Yes.
Even so, time is amazingly fair and forgiving. No matter how much time you've wasted in the past, you can still have tomorrow. Adlai Stevenson once said, it's not the days of your life, but the life in your days that count. You have to buy it. What is the price you have to pay? The price is that you have no time for certain things. We shouldn't drift along haphazardly, doing all the pleasures and all the drinking and all the other things that are wrong. God wants us to love others. The main thing that He wants us to do is to love your neighbor and love people of another race. The one thing that distinguishes a believer from others is love that dominates your life. Your life should be carefully planned. Then there's the termination of time. Brethren, the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians, time is short. In Revelation, it tells us that time shall be no more. Jesus and His disciples spent the 94 verses of Matthew 24 to the end of the chapter 25 talking about the end of the age. As we approach the end of the age, we read in Revelation 12 that the devil will be frantically active because he knows that his days are numbered. Yes, there is a devil, There is a Satan. He's a real person, and they're real demons. And they're going to battle for your soul tonight, because Satan does not want to give you up. He'll battle to keep you in his kingdom, because there are two kingdoms. There's the devil's kingdom and there's God's kingdom. And you have the right to make a choice which one you want to be in. In Romans 13, the apostle says, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. The Bible several times uses the phrase, the time is at hand. Jesus told us to discern the signs of the times. One of the signs is that iniquity shall abound. Pick up your newspapers and watch your newscast. Iniquity is abounding everywhere. Not just in New York, not just in New Jersey, but throughout the world. When the roll is called in heaven, will you be there? Is your name written on the book of life? Because the scripture says if your name is not on the Lamb's book of life, you'll never enter heaven. But when you come to Christ and present yourself wholly and completely to him as Savior and Lord, he blots out everything in those books and writes your name in another book, the book of life, the Lamb's book. Is your name written there? If my name was not written there and I didn't know it, I wouldn't leave this building tonight until I was sure. Because there may never be another moment like this in your life. This is your hour with God. And then the brevity of time calls for immediate action. The fact that time is short calls for us to do something about it now, because the scripture says in 2 Corinthians 6:2, now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, today. Things you ought to do, do it now. Money you ought to give it now. People you ought to witness to, witness now. Every time the clock ticks, it seems to say now. Today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart. You can harden your heart. You hear a message like this and it can be very dangerous, because you'll harden your heart. And the next time you hear the gospel, your heart will be harder and harder and harder. Come to Christ now. If there's even a whisper in your heart that you need to come, you come. Then there's the warning of time. It will someday be too late for your soul. Time is too short for indecision and vacillation. Don't halt between two opinions. Fools say there's plenty of time. The devil says there's plenty of time. Every morning you have 86,400 seconds to spend and to invest. Each day the bank name time opens a new account with you. There may be no tomorrow. Come now. When I tell you you need to come and make your commitment to Christ with these hundreds and thousands that have already come, the devil will say, wait, another time, another place. This is not the time. This is the time. The very fact you are here indicates it's the time. By some strange coincidence or providence, God has brought you here tonight. And before you came, you thought you were all right with God, but now you're not sure. And you want to make sure. You want to be certain. Yes, the devil always says, yes, do it, but some other time and some other place. God says, here and now.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get up out of here for today. It's 10:45. Got a few errands I need to go run, things I need to
We're
go
to
do.
know the enemy. He's called the God.
This has been another great episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. I hope y'all got something out of this, in terms of a hobby or something, some side hustles, or even finding your way towards salvation. Hope y'all got something out of this. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode for today, and I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. As usual, Tech Tuesdays. If you got any ideas, send them out to me. You already know, and I'll check y'all out tomorrow. This is DGTA TV. Peace. I'm gonna holla at y'all.
Successful. Or another way to put that is gives you a sense of status. Like all of this is connected to eternal value. Because these are things that we consider will be here long after we're gone. That's why, if I can just get the picture or the filter just right, then my kids will think, man, great grandma was beautiful. So that's why we'll spend a little extra money on the better camera. It's not about the camera, it's about the eternal value. It's about the relationships we can get connected to. I hope you're getting this. These three levels, if you can master how to take your God-given value and incorporate serving in one of these three levels, you will not have enough space for the riches and wealth that you will produce.
All right, y'all. We are coming up on our last 10 minutes. Today, I hope that your awareness is on what you want to pull into your field. Those behaviors you want to portray, or not portray, those behaviors you want to execute to make you the person that you want to be. And overall, I just hope that we all are staying and remaining connected to ourselves and being aware of who we want to be. So that's it for our episode today. I'm gonna check y'all out tomorrow on Fun Fridays. This was Healthy Mental Thursdays.